I actually don't want to hear them.
We can't hear them. They can hear us.
No, I don't want to hear the music, so I can't hear myself.
There. How's that?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome very much.
I am one of those people who generally doesn't wear headphones when I'm broadcasting, but I'm going to do it today.
Okay. I do.
You do? Because you like to hear the... Yeah, me too. Or I relate to that, but I feel too, like, incubated sometimes. Right? Like, right now I feel like not outreaching.
Right.
So everything you say right now is on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And there are people joining us.
Hello, people on Facebook.
Hi there. Look. All right.
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes. Alright. I love that the moon is at the bottom of the deck right now. Intuition, psychic abilities.
Yay.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Thank you, Spirit.
Heck yeah. We're going to get here 30 minutes early today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we really were. I texted Kristi last night saying, I feel like 6:30 is perfect for me. I woke up so early, like so ready, and then I had a typical like mother issue where getting my kid on the bus was a hellscape. So I'm glad we all arrived at the same time. It worked out.
I was here earlier, but
I was intending to be. We were intending to be here as well earlier, but.
All right. Here, wait, go.
Woo! I'm trying to figure out how to fit my hair into these headphones.
Good morning, Sun Prairie. Time to rise and shine.
Let's do it.
Time to pour the coffee with Bill.
Who wants to be human?
Time to rise and shine with Bill.
He has all the ingredients for disaster.
Time to get going with Bill.
She's phenomenal.
Welcome to Baker Street.
Ooh, what you
with
got
your
there?
host, Bill Baker.
My face. Niemi.
Niemi. Pretend you're Italian. Niemi.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Niemi.
I like it a lot.
Oh, everybody, you guys are in red matching today.
Stop. It's the vibe. We match your glasses, actually.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a stroll down Baker Street. I'm Bill Baker, your host, and welcome to Good Morning Sun Prairie. You're listening to 102.5. No, what?
103.5.
Backwards. That's okay.
That's okay.
103.5 WLSP right here in beautiful Sun Prairie, home of Station of the Year, as chosen by the Wisconsin Realtors Association. Listen to me. I am all messed up today.
Hey, you got some coffee?
We can't hear you yet. I get to control your buttons. I'm pushing buttons.
Daddy.
I love this. Hey, let's start this all over again. You're listening to 103.5 WLSP, and we're part of the Sun. We are Station of the Year, as chosen by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. I knew it was one of those. I thought it might be proctologist or something, but that's not it. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and, of course, the Baker Realty Group, and glad to be a part of this. So, hope you guys had a great weekend. I did. It was kind of fun. It was okay. You know, guess what? It snowed. Oh, well. It's Wisconsin. Who cares, right? I know. It's just what it is. But, you know, our Badgers, I'm a little sad. We can't figure out what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. No worries. It's just stuff. It's happening. Now, what I do know is we had a great open house here at the library this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. It was packed. I was there on Sunday, and people everywhere, adults, kids, grandmas, grandpas, a couple of furries were in there. I mean, people identified gorillas were there. They were there.
That's
They're having
cool.
fun. I attended the Lions District Convention, and they did it to me. They've done it to me. I've now been nominated to be the third vice president. Man, what is it with these people? How many vice presidents do we have? Like 10 or something. But it's a run up to be president of our Sun Prairie Lions. So very proud of that and excited about that. Hey, we got a great show today. I've got two ladies that are in studio and that I'm very fond of. They're absolutely amazing. You can just pull it. Grab it with both hands.
Love that. Oh, perfect. Okay, got it.
Grab it.
Got it, babe.
Shake it.
Just like life. Just like life.
Oh man.
Grab it by the throat.
This is gonna be a show. Kristi Braswell is in studio doing her budding butter.
You can butter my butterfly.
Oh my gosh, my mouth is just not working. This could be
Spirit's already here.
Probably. I'm telling you. And then, oh my God, I'm going to do it. Ready? Renae Niemi.
Niemi.
I've been practicing that for like the last.
You did amazingly.
3 or 4 minutes. She is a psychic medium, and we're going to talk about that because I had a session with her.
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
Yes.
Terry's gone through a session with her. I'm new to this, so we're going to learn about that today. We're gonna see what it's all about. She's actually going to do a reading. I guess you're doing me.
I'll do whatever.
If somebody calls in, right?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could do it online. Somebody on Facebook could come in.
Absolutely, I would encourage that. In
All right,
fact,
we'll do that.
Yeah.
And then when we get, then I'll turn her microphone on so you can actually hear. Oh my gosh! But let's do this. All right. Let's get the show started. I want to talk about something before we get started, and she'll understand this. But as we do every single show, let's get started. Let's go fishing right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here.
Good morning.
Woo!
Still can't hear you.
All right, so we're good for like a little bit.
I'm a jam out
3
here.
minutes.
You listening to that music? What are you even doing?
That's my signature song.
What signature song?
Ooh, this is your signature?
Fishing.
You know this dance?
Do you hear
Fishing
music?
in the dark?
Can
Do you hear music?
Yeah, of course.
I don't.
You don't have your...
Wait.
Yeah, you need to...
No.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Oh, my little
Yeah.
thing.
Then what?
Oh.
Ooh.
Is it
Ooh.
Now I dance, but
What?
yeah, it's just a short.
You and me going fishing in the dark.
Oh wow.
Oh, now I can hear
Empathic
it.
visions. John
Oh, it's
Miller,
loud.
okay, dear
Now I
send me
can
a
jam.
friend
I thought you were like doing that.
No,
with no
I'm
music.
jamming out.
Good morning,
No.
Jennifer. Jennifer Bowles and John Muller. Okay, dear, send me friend request or message me. All right, we're sending this to Budding Butterfly.
Oh, I already know the theme. Look at this at the bottom of the deck. Everyone needs to release.
Oh my God.
There could not be a better time to be here to start this series astrologically, I have to tell you. I'm so excited. We're at the end of the astrological new year.
Heck yeah.
We are at the end of Pisces season is the end of everything.
Aries is coming up.
Aries is coming up. Time to charge up that hill. Let's get our dreams settled. Let's get our intention settled. Let's get going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a conversation for a different day is how that applies to Christianity and Jesus Christ's birthday being in Pisces season and how that completes a cycle and relates to the tarot. It's a beautiful conversation, not for today,
Not for today.
but beautiful, and I'm so happy to be. It's such divine fucking timing.
Did you say that on the radio?
She did.
Oh, I thought...
Now you're on Facebook.
I just swore that was my divine freaking timing. Divine freaking timing.
Do you have a phone with you?
I do.
You can look on your Facebook page, and the show is on your Facebook page now.
What the heck? That's awesome.
How fun.
Okay, let's find it.
How fun.
I think it's a budding butterfly about.
Oh, Niemi? No, it's not on Butterfly.
Well, I know it's on your site. I'm going to talk about some negativity stuff, and then
Okay.
we're going to roll into
Whatever you want.
this. Thanks, son. Yeah, I never get tired of that song. It's been my opening song for, oh my gosh, 7 years now. 7 years! How many shows? Let's see, that's a show a week. That's 50 shows. Let's say it's 40 times 7, 280 shows. That's pretty good. That's just the Good Morning Sun Prairie version. And do you remember back when I was doing a show every single day of the week? That was a killer. Queen. Oh, sorry. I didn't do a song. 5 days a week I was doing a show. But that was just amazing. And when you're just a volunteer and you don't have support staff and you're writing, producing, directing, and doing all that, it kind of makes it a little bit challenging. But very happy to be doing this and tickled about it. Hey, I want to talk about something I've noticed this in the last 5 days, but it's like accelerated. I don't know why. It jumped into my house. I don't know why. But negativity. I got to tell you this. I repel negativity. I mean, I can't stand to be around people that are negative. I will run from you. I'll push you out of the car. I mean, we could be going somewhere. I'll just open and push you out of the car.
You establish that boundary.
It's everywhere. You keep talking. Might as well just turn your mic on.
Yeah.
God, Renee, I just love you. I mean,
I love you.
Oh. But there's negativity is everywhere. And what the hell is going on with that? I'm tired of it. Everybody goes to the negative instead of saying positive. The glass is half full, not half empty. And we got to stop that. The other thing is bad days. Well, they're having a bad day. Well, you know what? I really hope that my airline pilot on the way to Orlando doesn't have a bad day.
Right.
Or how about my surgeon doing my hearts? I'm not having heart surgery. But think about it. I hope he has a good day. Well, everybody's like, well, they're having a bad day. Get over it. Well, I'm on my horse here because I heard this. It came into my house. It came into my house. Oh, it came into my house. Friction.
Did you throw it out?
Yeah. We chatted about Joe Cott. Oh my God, man! I'm glad you're on here, buddy. Facebook Live right now. Welcome back. Yeah, we had a little friction going on, and I'm like, this can't work. Let me tell you what happened. We got this frickin' refrigerator. You know the word. Notice the word I used there. An LG French door refrigerator. Now, last summer, the thing went out. Okay? And so we went through the whole thing. Got it. We fought with the people. The tech comes out. We're having a technician come out. Okay, they came out. The technician says, you need a new refrigerator. LG says, no, we're going to fix it. How much did it cost? $1,800 to fix it. How much is a new refrigerator?
$1,800.
Guy spent 6 hours at our house gutting this refrigerator. And in the process to get all this done, Terry is talking to what was just a questionable customer service department. She got so frustrated that she actually wrote the president of LG. He responded. Said,
wow.
I am very sorry for all of everything that's going on, and have a nice day. But she communicated with the guy. The guy actually responded. The president of LG. Come on, that'd be kind of cool.
That is
Very
cool.
cool.
That'd be like Rocky Rococo contacting you or something like that. I know. You're on, babe. You're on.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And so, guess what happened starting in February? Actually, into January. The refrigerator started not freezing again.
Shut the front door.
And so now we've got to start this whole process all over again. And she's like, well, let's just go buy a new refrigerator. I'm like, no! We're not going to go buy a new refrigerator. You're just pull that $2,000 out of the air. You know? I said, get on the phone, get on the email to your buddy, the president of LG, and let's just get it done. And she's like, oh, well, you know, I'm just tired of these people. I'm like, no! They did something wrong. We call customer service and like, I'm sorry, man, but that's a 90-day warranty. We can't do it. And we go, well, we weren't told it's 90 days. So where is this 90 days crap? So we're back and forth yesterday, and I said, I will not accept this attitude. This is a negative attitude, and I got to go take a timeout. I had to go downstairs. I had to go downstairs. But man, it made me feel I've been noticing all the negativity. You know, and you guys know me. Have you ever seen me negative? Look, Kristi, no.
No.
Oh my gosh, there's no way. My son Alex Baker, all the way from Seattle, Washington.
Whoa, Washington.
Hey buddy, happy anniversary. His first wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary,
nice.
Alex, is it?
Yeah.
Alex, happy anniversary.
We got a ton of people watching now.
Hello.
So this world is full of negativity. Now, why am I
Well,
talking-
it's also full of positivity.
Well, I'm getting to that. So why am I talking about this? Because Renee's here to address that negativity, and she and her readings can do that. You can pull that out. You know where that's coming from. It's not me being negative.
Blockages. I'm here to address
I
blockages.
love this.
Yes.
Now, this lady that we're talking about is a third-generation spiritualist,
Yeah.
psychic, clairvoyant, and herbalist. She has over a decade. Oh my gosh! I'm just gonna throw my paper. I can't even talk this morning. She's got a decade of divination.
Divination.
Wow, that's a
Listen,
$10 word.
divination just means to divine. To divine.
I thought it was spiritual, but all right. She's cultivated a uniquely warm, conversational style of tarot reading and enjoys an approachable, fast-paced, I will say it is fast-paced like you can't believe, as the cards help to connect you with a spirit, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm
It's a
excited to
fun,
be here.
inviting energy, and she serves to ensure your greatest comfort and ease when she's doing this. And believe me, you know, it was my second one. It was only my second one. And I've known Renae
Yes.
in a different light
Yes.
before all of this. And no, we did not date.
Mhm.
She's happily married.
Very happily.
Yes. And so I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And then Kristi,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, no, you set all this up.
Christy is the best.
Well, she is.
She's
I
the
love
reason
it
of the
here.
season, yeah.
Budding Butterfly, right
Yeah.
downtown Sun Prairie.
101 East Main Street, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
Was that a
For
paid
all
advertisement?
your metaphysical needs.
I love that.
Thank you, Renee.
Seriously,
You're
down
welcome.
corner of Maine and Bristol.
Bristol.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Right
it's
in the
not-
heart. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. You can get your crystals, you can get your incense, you got everything.
Your
Just go-
tarot decks, your herbs,
Just
everything.
stop in.
Everything.
Stop
Stop in.
in.
Stop in
Stop
for a
in.
chat. If
Stop
you have
in.
something that's bothering you, something whatever, come and talk to us. We're here to help.
Yeah.
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 I dig that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be we've got 2 hours to do this. Folks, you're online right now. If you would like Renae to do your reading, raise your hand. Or just shout it out.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm here for
And
you.
we'll direct you. Or we can work with me. We'll give them a
Oh,
second there.
right.
So while we're letting them think about this, I want to let you know this. A psychic medium, this is my definition. I did my homework.
Love. You did.
I did my homework. Psychic medium is someone who claims to have or is believed to have extrasensory capabilities
Mhm.
that enable the person to perceive and interpret paranormal forces.
Well put.
Some experts believe that everyone has a certain amount of psychic power. I do. I have intuition.
You sure do.
And sometimes called a sixth sense. And that's really an intense form of intuitive observation. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's well put.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, it's like you.
I can't remember who it is.
Well,
Diane Donahue says that she would like a reading.
Diane Donahue. So the way I would love to structure this is like, give me your brief situation and I'll
Okay.
pull cards on that.
All right,
So,
hang on for a second. Well, hang on a second. Before we start,
oh,
I got one
yes,
question.
go on.
I love when I get to control this. This is fun. Because I got all the buttons over. I can turn you on and off.
I love
Ooh, that
that for
didn't sound
you.
like good.
I love that for you. It sounded just fine. It sounded just fine.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about you. I mean,
Okay.
When did you discover this ability?
Interesting question, long answer, so I'll abbreviate.
We have 2 hours.
Right. There was always sort of this non-3D life in my life from birth, right?
Uh-huh.
My aunties were always playing with tarot cards. I'm a first-generation American. My mother is from Germany, right? A German Jew. Shout out German Jews.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it's very cool survivors. And it sort of just was always a part of my life, right? My mom was very anti. My mother's very conservative, very like anti sort of woo-woo, which is a trauma response from everything that she experienced with religious persecution, right?
Okay.
But it just found me. It found me probably in my teenage years is when I started really, when one rebels against one's parents.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, no, nobody, I don't know anybody like that.
That's atypical, right?
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that. Trust me. I might resemble that. I'm just
Aren't you a Cancer?
Virgo.
Oh, you're a Virgo. Same level of intuition, but Virgo is very 3D applied intuition, whereas Cancer is very theoretical, a sort of airy or more ethereal intuition. But still, underrated sign, the Virgo. People often think they're very like 3D, only about like OCD and organizing, right? But truly, deeply, if you get to know a Virgo, they be knowing stuff.
But you just described me pretty well.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Hey, so how do readings work?
How do readings work?
And what's it all about?
When I pull cards for a client, what I am doing and what I am asking is I'm connecting with your ancestors, your spirit guides, your passed on loved ones, and asking them, there's sort of a contractual agreement, right? I'm asking them to bring forward what they would describe as your highest possible accessible timeline, and then any blockages that might be in the way. So for me personally, and everyone does it differently, for me personally, we're going to cut the BS, right? We're going to go straight down to what we see, what's blocking you from your highest possible potential.
Okay.
And then what your highest possible potential looks like. I personally do not believe that tarot is a divination tool, or rather a fortune-telling tool, right?
Okay.
Because I believe that we all have free will. So if I tell you like, oh my gosh, Bill, there is money in your future, that is amazing, right? But unless you go and in the 3D, in this like world that we live in, go and make those moves, that's not coming in. So I don't like to say like, this is going to happen if you do nothing. This is going to happen if you accept it, if you own it, and if you make the moves. The time is right for that right now. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Yes.
You know, when I was talking to people this weekend about this, and before, they said, well, how do you know a medium is legit? How can you recognize that? And it's not to, well, it sounds negative, but I don't think it is. It's a good question.
That's okay. It is an excellent question.
I think you just gave a good example of that, though.
How do you mean?
What are you saying? Talking about, I see money in your future. Or
Right.
something like that, or...
Right. So, for example, I could pull a card that very traditionally means happy marriage, right?
Sure.
And there are a couple of cards that could mean that, right? It doesn't mean that it could mean several things. if you are having a medium who, here's the red flags. Are you asking for red flags?
Sure,
Like,
why not? That's a good
right?
idea.
I think so.
If you've never done a reading, I mean, this is what, and I'm going to tell you, folks. So what Kristi told me to do. This is all Kristi's fault.
Oh my gosh!
Your
sorry.
fault, Kristi.
No, it's a good fault, though. Some faults are good, you know. Because I have never done this before, and I know that my Terry has, and
I love your Terry.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And so when I came in
Yeah.
the very first time, Kristi said, "All I want you to be is honest
Mm-hmm.
and open-minded. Be open to this."
Yep.
And the thing is, I don't remember one thing she said.
Isn't that funny?
It is.
Yeah, because you're not in the 3D state when that's happening. You're
Well, I was
sort of
listening.
transcending. Yeah.
I don't-
One is it, not you. One is not.
It's a snowblower outside,
Yeah.
right? You know, why don't I just send a train by the window too? But yeah, it was really fun. I had a good time, and I tried to understand it. And then I come out, and Kristi says, "Well, why didn't you just record it?" I'm like, "Record it? I can record a session?"
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, every reader is different, so I don't want to say it's like 100% okay, but if you ask permission, absolutely. Most readers are completely okay
Well,
with you recording a session.
I
Yeah.
think legitimate ones are. That's
Yes.
really giving me problems.
Now it's not. I just fixed it.
Okay, good. All right, good. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, the legitimacy on this. So tell us more about the red flags.
Red flags are, well, here's the thing. I think
You
I
just dropped a card.
I sure did. Interesting, the Queen of Pentacles.
Someone
I
just died somewhere.
no, certainly not. It was just a message to me. I am hesitant to talk about, oh my gosh, psychics could be fake only because I think that people have hesitance in general, right? So I don't want to be coming on air and being like, oh my gosh, psychics could be bad, but they could be. And so most are not. I worry about people being afraid to enter a metaphysical space because they're worried that if they engage with that at all, they could like call in demons. Sometimes we have people who express that fear at the Budding Butterfly, so I just want to put everyone's mind at ease. Like, you will not open some sort of portal and welcome in a demon if you go visit a psychic. And even if you see a psychic who might be playing you, I've never met one, but I hear about them, and I'm in the community, right? So, but things that you should watch for are people who engage in this sort of love and light toxicity. Have you heard of this phrase?
Negative. No.
No, negatory. Love and light toxicity is often described as like, you cannot have a negative experience. If you're having a negative experience, you are not in the light, and the light is the only way.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
That's my biggest red flag, which I feel like people, like, I mean, everyone knows when they're being conned. Trust your gut. Like, listen, trust your
Absolutely.
gut. But what I will say as I would caution against somebody who's telling you if you're having a negative experience that you brought it on yourself. And then anyone who's just speaking vaguely. Right, so every reading starts vague because I'm getting to know you, for example, right? So it's like this card could mean some sort of struggle with like the way you communicate, right? And so it starts vague until you tell me like, well, I've had a hard time speaking up for myself towards my coworkers, towards my boss, or like towards my wife, or like whatever it is, right? Then we can get into it. But when they're really vague and it feels like, I feel like just trust your gut. You'll know. You'll just know. I don't know how else to put it. But be careful if they never get specific.
Well, I have an example. I don't know if it was real or not, but I was in San Francisco and I went to a psychic, and then they're wanting to charge me extra at the end for prayer candles and different things. And it's like, I just came in for a reading, and now they're trying to tell me like, yeah. So for me, that didn't feel right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it didn't feel right for me because I was just surprised by that. Or because especially if they're like, oh, you've got this thing in your life and it needs to go away. And the only way is if I light this candle for you and I'm going to charge you extra and I'm going to be praying for you. And it's
Right.
like,
Another
no.
one is if they tell you that you have a hex, you've been cursed, and the only way to remove it is paying me $100.
What?
Yes, that is
That
kind of a
happens
similar
a
thing.
lot,
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
that
Yeah.
happens a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well,
So things like that, but
okay.
yeah.
Well, it's just interesting. Like I said, well, my life, I have a saying is to stay in curiosity and
I
seek
love that.
to understand. That's the rest of it. Now, if Alex were, I think Alex is off because he's in Seattle, so he's just getting out of bed.
That's your kiddo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably lit one up and he's now he's in the shower somewhere. But my kid, he's got the full beard, the long hair with the man bun and all that stuff. Yeah. He's married 1 year today. The most amazing lady.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
1 year today. Happy
I'm
anniversary.
Very
Yes.
proud of him.
Yes.
But he would tell you that I have this intuition that just scares him at times.
And that came up in your reading with me as well.
It did.
Yes.
I
yeah.
was sitting there going, you know, one of those little.
Yeah. I think I remember saying something like, I feel like you think about people and then they call you, or
Yeah,
like something like
all
that.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's yeah. You're just one of those.
So for a while, I'd have that happen, and I would write it down.
Good. Journaling is an excellent
Well,
tool.
it wasn't journaling. It was just taking a few things.
That's journaling, babe.
Scott's going to call me. And Scott, my buddy Scott, my best friend in that, he and I joke about it all the time. I said, you seem to call me at the most appropriate times. And he says, well, I just felt like I needed to call you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're connected.
So Wendy says that she's cautiously interested. Jennifer Bull wants to say hi again.
Hello, Jen.
Hi.
We love you.
Hey, something that we were talking about before we went on the air was about religion.
Yes.
And how does this, I mean, so I've heard, I'm a Catholic.
Mm.
I am a Christian that follows Catholicism.
I love that for you.
I think that's better. That's the way to say it.
Sure.
Sometimes man's law gets in the way of that, but that's okay. With any,
What do you mean by that?
well, there's the laws that have been given down in the teachings by Christ and what we should be doing,
Mhm.
and then there's men's interpretations and what they've added to that.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. That I went to hear a friend of mine preach one time at the Lutheran Church, and I won't tell you which one because I don't want to make anybody mad.
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay. And so I stood up to go take communion, and the person who was sitting next to me, she pushes me back. She goes, "You can't do that." I'm like, "Excuse me? I'm going to go up and take communion." She goes, "You're not a member of this church." I said, "I'm a Christian, and I'm going to go up and take communion." And I said, I'll tell you what though, I will apologize to you if you can go over and get that little book thing. It's Bible, and if you can find in there it says I can't come take communion because I'm not a Lutheran, then I would be happy not to do that.
Mm.
That's man's law.
Sure, I see what
That's
you're
man's
saying.
law.
Where it's like we make up extra rules for
Right.
F knows why.
Right.
Yes,
F
yes.
knows why.
F knows why.
So how does religion fit in with this?
I mean, it doesn't. I know plenty of people who practice sort of alternative spirituality who describe themselves as followers of Christ, followers of the Christ consciousness. Kristi is one of them. I personally have sort of an eclectic spiritual experience, but I do, in fact, one of my favorite places, as you know, Kristi, is a place that's a Catholic in orientation, right? Like, I work with the Virgin Mary. I pray to the Virgin Mary very often, which I feel like is an inflammatory statement sometimes when man's law, right? Man's law comes into the conversation because of the fear-based energy. And this is a perfect, and
There you go.
I thank you.
Fear-based energy.
I thank you for opening up the conversation because that's truly what it is. It's fear-based energy. And now, I don't know if you know this, Bill, but it is, we're 2 weeks out from the end of the astrological new year. We are in the season, the sun is in the area of the sky that we call Pisces,
Okay.
which is the 12th sign, the completion cycle, right?
Okay.
which
Can we
is,
throw a party or?
I mean, if we,
I mean, I don't know.
I feel
Why
like
not?
we should.
Right?
Never enough celebration.
Let's just celebrate, right? So I think it's the, I'm not a professional astrologer. People often think that I am because I work in tarot, but I feel like it's it's anywhere between the 21st and the 23rd is when we go into Aries season, which would be time to charge up that hill and start a new cycle. But in Pisces, it's time to reflect, and it's time to settle any debts that we have outstanding with the universe. And I thank you for bringing up this fear-based energy because it's releasing season, babes. Let's release, like, just because we don't know about something and just because we've been told something by perhaps these, what did you call it? Man laws?
Man laws.
Man laws. What is that, like a Miller Lite commercial kind of?
Yeah,
Wasn't that a Miller Lite campaign? Man law.
No.
I swear to the Lord. I'll email you or text you later and I will find it, yeah. I feel like it was a Miller Lite campaign. But man law tells us to fear what we don't understand.
Yeah,
to fear...
That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, fear-based energy. It's time to let it go.
I love the example of fear. Here's a good example of fear.
Go on.
So there's this huge pit in front of you, and there's a 2x4 that's across the pit. And to get to the other side, you have to walk across this 2x4. Well, the pit is 100 feet deep.
Ooh.
All right, let's say it's 10 feet deep, and it has alligators.
I'm still scared.
Would people do it? And they'll say no. And you just keep adding things to it. And then you add the one, your child is on the other side and is in terrible pain and crying terribly. Will you cross that pit? And they go, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. And so there's that fear-based thing, you know, the levels of
Circumstantial.
fear. Yeah, exactly.
Well put.
I don't fear anything. Well, I feared my mother. But
Did you? Oh, that came up in your reading too.
Fingernails and that cigarette in her hand. You better cut this.
Am I your mom? Wait a minute.
Those aren't even long enough.
I just trimmed them down.
Did you?
Yeah.
I miss her. I miss her terrible. Coming up on 2
Oh,
years.
mommy. God rest her soul. Well, she's with you.
Man, she died on 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shut the
Wow.
front door.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So that's literally 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown to a completion cycle.
Isn't that wild? I mean,
4, 3, 2, 1.
yeah. Maybe we get, I know people are on here, and I know Diane would like a reading. I know
Diane.
Wendy, but I think maybe we should do me.
Do you want to?
And let's see if my spirit guide, who I think I know who it is, but I could be wrong.
You have many.
I do.
Yes, everyone does.
Mom was dear to me. I mean, she was my bud.
All right, so you would like to start with a reading with you?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let me hand you. I have a since I've seen you last. I have a new technique. So I'm going to hand you this deck.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right.
This is the Sacred Spirit deck by Anna Stark.
All right, radio fans, she just handed me the deck of cards.
I
And it's
sure
beautifully designed with a beautiful tree.
So if you'd like to just play with that, shuffle that, whatever calls to you, that's going to be our mood card, and we'll get started there. So that's just going to set the tone.
Mood
All
card.
right, the mood card.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here you go.
What do we got?
What'd you pull?
I didn't pull one.
No, pull one.
Pull one!
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm going to empower you.
Oh, that's a good-looking dude.
Let me see.
It's the gatekeeper.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Ooh. Timing is critical, Belle.
Show the camera
Oh, okay.
on Facebook.
Right. Okay, so we have 7. Celestial Gatekeeper. Timing is critical. I'm going to refer to the book. Because this particular deck comes with built-in affirmations, and if you're a crystal girly, crystals to work with. Clear your focus. Timing is critical. Right now, you require a clear focus of what is ahead of you. Your timing is critical. While you may have a sense of urgency, it is important not to rush. Okay? Think about the issue or circumstances carefully before you act. Ensure that you have planned your forward process. All decision-making need to be carefully considered before you jump in prematurely. Make sure that you have all the facts. This is like think before you act energy. Think before you act. It almost, what I'm hearing is like, because you're so in tune, oh, this is what it is, Bill. It's because you already know people's BS before they give it to you, right?
Sometimes.
I mean, and this is very much that circumstance. So I'm guessing there's a situation in your life where like you kind of smell BS, or you're being triggered, right? And it's likely that you're going to have an emotional response, okay? But Spirit is saying, stop, think, and be strategic with the way you play this situation out.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And here on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles in the tarot, we deal with it very much like we do. It's much like a deck of playing cards, right?
Okay.
So we have suits instead of whatever it is, clubs, diamonds, spades, and hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have pentacles, swords, cups, and wands, right?
Okay.
Similar. When we see the pentacles, those are also sometimes called pentagrams or coins. Those are things we can see, touch, feel. They represent earth energy, earth, fire, water, and air, right? This is earth. Things we can see, touch, feel. Job, money, house, contracts, 3D stuff. Hemming and hawing, trying to make a decision. What decisions are you trying to make? Or in what way are you sort of seeing both sides of an issue? Right? It doesn't matter because we're on air, so normally these things get very personal. Yeah. But, let me just continue.
You know.
Yes, I do.
That's one of them.
Right. Also, this is the energy of, I have what's mine and I don't know if I want to share.
Jennifer Lee just checked in. She says hi.
Hello, Jen.
Hello, Jen.
She's running a special down at Okay, say this again. She just pulled another card out of the deck.
Yes. This would be the Four of Pentacles. And in the Four of Pentacles, we see a gentleman who clearly has what's his. Again, you're getting this pentacle energy, very 3D, which is not negative. There's no such thing as negative, right?
Okay, what's Pentacle 3D? Or
Pentacle 3D I just described, right?
I don't
when we
understand
see, great, I'll go on again.
Please.
Pentacles are 3D things.
No, but I
what's this card? Great.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. I thought you meant what's pentacles in general.
No.
Okay. In this way, you see him sort of like holding his coins close to him, holding his pentacles close to him. I have built an empire, he says, right? I have built a whole situation that I'm very comfortable with in my own space. I have built sort of catered to my own needs in this 3D world, and I've made my space. And I'm not 100% sure if I want to incorporate, if I don't want to just keep it to myself, kind of.
How are you feeling about that, Bill?
Whoa.
Is it hitting home for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third base too.
Home run. Let's go for that. One more
I was
card.
sliding into home on that one.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong deck. Okay. Oh, the Emperor.
The Emperor.
The Emperor.
This is the Emperor card she just pulled.
When we see the Emperor, we are in the major arcana of tarot. So while we have the suited 1 through 10s, right,
Okay.
the same way as a playing deck, a deck of playing cards.
78 cards?
There's 78 cards. Damn, you know. You know.
You did your research.
You sure did.
Long time ago.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed.
I'm a good student.
You sure are. When we see the Emperor, we see a man sitting on the throne, right? There might be significance for you with the number 4. Kristi, you know this. What's 4 about?
Stability.
And so that would probably also connect with this Pentacles energy, stability, 3D, earth sign energy, right? Having it your way. This is the energy.
There is stability or lack of stability?
It is speaking to your state of mind. It is
Okay.
speaking to where you're at in life. And where you're at in life is you are the Emperor. You really, I don't know what's going on with you, but it's definitely a conversation about what's yours, and whether or not you want to incorporate, whether or not you want to give up certain things for someone else or for a different situation that like might not be, you're set in your ways. You know what you like, you know yourself, right? And I think that's why you're coming up as the Emperor, right? Like, you know yourself, but there's a situation. The only reason they would bring this up is that there's a situation, again, with this Two of Pentacles, we see him going like this. This is like very Libra, scales energy, hemming and hawing almost.
You know, what's interesting about this is there's some activities in my life right now that I'm involved with where I get a group that, what'd you call it? Hems and haws?
Hemming and hawing, yes.
And it's the word I don't like in my life is frustration. People use that word like you can't, I'm frustrated. The other one is, I'm tired. I was tired. Well, you can't do that? Well, I was tired. Well, okay, well, work through it. Anyway, I get challenged by people that don't do what they should be doing and doing it at a high level. Instead of just doing that mediocre stuff. And that's what I started the show with. How many people just go, well, I did it. It's almost like they're saying, I showed up, give me a trophy.
Oh,
You know
I relate to that.
And so I have a couple of groups that I'm a part of that where I'm in a leadership role, and people just don't, I mean, they just show up, but they don't do anything. If they do something, it's minimal. Is that an Emperor thing?
It speaks to your state of mind, where it's
Okay.
like you feel like you absolutely know, and it feels like you do know the way things, it's what they're saying is how it ought to be, right? How it ought to be.
Ought to be.
Ought to be.
Now we turned British.
We're British
I don't mind
now.
it. I've got my
We
tea
do that
over
a
here.
lot.
Isn't it, governor?
I'm drinking my good British
Oh my
Lipton
gosh,
tea this
you
morning.
are drinking tea. I'm drinking club soda.
I forgot my coffee.
Oh, there's a coffee machine right down the hall.
Does it have coffee in it?
That's called coffee. You just have to pull down the lever.
Is it-
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go check that out.
Has it got coffee in it?
Hey, it's probably a good point to tell you that you are listening to Good Morning Sun Prairie, and we're talking about the subject of psychic medium and Renae Niemi. Gosh,
You nailed it.
I did?
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
you got
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Finally.
Mhm.
Finally. And then Kristi
A-plus.
Braswell's here from Budding Butterfly.
Yeah.
Budding Butterfly
These two
101
ladies
East Main
work
Street.
together. And so I've gone through this process. I don't know. It's not a process. It's an event.
Series of events.
Yeah, and it was the first time was a little uncomfortable because I'm trying to learn and absorb and all that. The second time because I know Renae,
We have a rapport.
right? We have a rapport, and I was more comfortable, but I didn't remember a lot of it. So when I get home, it's like, how'd it go? And I'm like, I got up already. I'm jellyhead or something. So that's what we're talking about this morning. If you're on the radio, you're welcome to go to Facebook Live, check us out, and leave us some messages. Right now, Renae is doing a reading on me, and let's continue on.
Let's see what.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
This
you.
is fun.
I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
Yeah,
We might have to do this as a regular thing.
I would absolutely love
Yes.
that.
All right.
Yes. We have the Six of Wands.
What is it?
Six of Wands. So when we see
Six of Wands?
Wands.
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 Yeah, wands. Yes. You see a wand, you wave a magic
Oh,
wand.
magic wand.
Yes.
Magic wand. The Six of Wands. Sometimes there's different decks that use different words, but I work with a very traditional Rider-Waite that's inside baseball.
Okay.
Anyway, in the tarot, we see this right here. You see this wreath?
Okay, there's a wreath on a wand of a gentleman sitting on a horse.
And he looks as though he's riding into town with high honors, does he not?
Yes, he has a wreath on his head, and
Mhm.
he's surrounded with people behind him, it looks like.
Bill, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Very interestingly,
Yeah.
I have never in my life, in my entire career, noticed that he had a wreath on his head.
It's like,
You pointed that out, and it's going to change my life forever and the way I do my job. Thank you.
well, a wreath, depending on was a sign of power.
Excellent. So in tarot, it's made of bay laurel. If you know, everyone knows bay leaves, also known as laurel.
Okay.
In the plant world, right? Whenever we see the bay leaves, the bay wreath, the laurel leaves in tarot, it's a reason to celebrate. The largest of which in the major arcana is when we see the World card. But here, with the Six of Pentacles, we have someone riding in town to victory. Speaking to, the only blockage to victory for you is a paper dragon. The Emperor has no clothes, so to speak.
Well, what paper dragon? We haven't had a paper dragon yet.
Oh, yes, we have.
Where?
Right here.
The king?
So listen. Okay. When I pulled the Emperor, it shows me, great. You are setting stuff up in the 3D amazing, right? We went through that. And the only struggle there is, like, how would I like to expand that? What does that look like? And do I want to change my boundaries to be able to sort of, like, do I want to hoard and keep to my own standards, my own situation? I like stuff the way I like it, and that's that, right? But then we have, like, reason to celebrate. So I think, like, the only blockage you have, which is very minor, is just, like, just slightly less my way or the highway, or like there might be something you're missing because there's things that you believe are black and white that might be gray.
It's never my way or the highway with me.
Okay, yeah, and I would like, but it might be like black and white, right? So this could mean several things.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Black and white is a good descriptive.
Right.
But I will, if somebody comes in and they are, if they're going against something that I believe or I talk about or are proposing and all that, as I said, I will take a step back and I will seek to understand. I will listen and stay in curiosity. Those are my phrases. I mean, I have taught myself that.
I love that, like, as a mantra. Stay in curiosity.
Seek to understand is the second part.
Seek. And, like, just that verbiage. Yeah, you are a Virgo. Because that verbiage is so specific and particular. Mm-hmm. And that's a great thing. If we could just very briefly talk about, like, how manifestations and affirmations can work in your favor or against your favor.
I use them all the time.
You are using them. It's a great, what you are saying to me is such a great example of, like, how to positively affirm. The verbiage is important. There's this sort of, like, old adage that's kind of like passe or like cliche, but they say, like, it's called spelling for a reason, right? It's a spell. Oh. So the specific words that you say, like, will manifest to a degree. Let's not get neurotic about it, right? You can say, like, I hate this and nothing bad happens, okay? Don't worry about that. But we're all allowed to feel our feelings and we're all allowed to be human. But I love the way you said seeking to understand, right?
Check out these affirmations. Now I'm going to go real personal here.
Great.
And nobody's ever heard this before. Well, a few people have heard it, but so every morning it's good morning, Lord, let's take on this day. And when I go to sleep at night, it's good night, Lord, thank you for a wonderful day.
And gratitude
is
that. Yes, every day. Kristi, yes.
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Bill, honestly, like, that's how we build abundance. Oh, okay, is gratitude, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people ask me, God, you seem like you're happy all the time. I choose to be happy.
It's a choice.
Oh my God! Yeah, it really is.
Now that's not to say, and again, I don't want to, like, be in this toxic situation where, like, if there's something chemically imbalanced, seek medical attention, and, like, you know, there are things and there are reasons, and, like, some people go through bad times, but in a lot of circumstances, you're absolutely correct. It is a choice. Sure. Because, like, let's say that, like, my husband's being real annoying. Mm-hmm. I can be like, my language, he was this morning, I'll be honest. Yes, I was like, Kristi, pick me up at 6:30. This girl gets here at 6:30. I was like, in a situation. I didn't get down for like 10 minutes. And we all arrived at the same time, whatever. But let's just say, theoretically, completely hypothetically, my husband's being annoying.
I love it.
Right? Just like you said, Bill, I can absolutely view that as my life just flippin' sucks, and I'm in this situation, and blah, right? Like, I can't get out of this. I'm stuck. But then you can stop, and you have the choice, just like you said, to be like, all right, this is a moment in time, but let's take inventory. And that's perfect for the end of the astrological year right now. Spring cleaning is coming up for everyone. Like, take honest inventory of where you're at. Do you have things mostly to be grateful for? If so, perhaps it's a mindset shift that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love that you said, and gratitude is an excellent exercise. If someone out there doesn't know how to start with their spiritual practice, just express gratitude to, if you worship the Christian God, if you worship Yahweh, or whoever your ancestors or the universe or whatever, express gratitude, right?
Always.
And that's a great place to start.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I could be having a bad day.
Absolutely.
You're not going to know it.
Well,
unless I choose to let you know about it. But if I'm out in...
That's
so,
the emperor.
Well, if I'm out somewhere, if we're at a chamber event, and it's a group of people, and I'm having a bad day, you're not going to know about it. But there might be a time when you learn about it. I choose to let you know about it. And so the phrases are, how you doing, Bill? I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I actually remember you had said that to me a few times.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
But if it's raining out, I'm ducky. And I'll say, well, since it's raining out, I'll be ducky today.
And so what does ducky mean to you? Because when I hear duck, I think like the water slicks off the back.
Oh, yeah. Duck is really cool. A duck is a wonderful image for me.
Go on.
One that I've lived by. So you can always go to the pond, a lake, whatever, and you can see ducks. You can see swans.
Beautiful.
They're out and they're just cruising across the water. Underneath, they're paddling like a mother. They're just in chaos. So on the top, it's all beautiful and fabulous, and you love that. But what you don't know is that underneath, they're having turmoil. They've got things to do, and that beauty is caused by the chaos that they've created underneath. And so I think that's our lives. Our lives are full of chaos that lead to beauty.
Well put.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So do you feel as though you're constantly like a ducky under the surface, or do you feel like that sometimes, or do you think that's like generally true? That we all have hidden struggles? Is that what that means?
Oh, sure. We all have hidden struggles. We
I
should,
agree.
because that's how we grow.
Absolutely.
Go on.
That's
What does that mean?
Well, you've got to have challenges in your life to be able to
learn.
And as you learn, you grow as a person. I mean, the business world, you didn't just walk in and go, I'm going to have a business today. Well, some people do. They don't have to. But what is it, like Bill Gates? Bill Gates has had 6 bankruptcies or something like that.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
I mean, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
He's a dropout. He's a college dropout. So people go, oh, he dropped out of college. If you said that to anybody else out there said, I'm a college dropout, they'll go, oh, that's so sad. Well, here's a gazillionaire who dropped out of college. He failed his way all the way to gazillion dollars.
And that's like...
and money means nothing to him.
That's beautiful, the way you put that, he failed. So, sometimes we're in moments where we think we failed. Whatever we as sort of just little ants in an ant farm, humans, right? Whatever we thought with our ego was like where we were supposed to go, right? Wherever we thought, and then we have a failure. We experience shame, we experience self-criticism, right? We experience all these negative feelings, when often, in reality, what I've discovered through my career as a tarot reader, when the cards and spirit comes in, they are saying, we removed that from your life on purpose, silly, right? So that, the way you put that fits very well into often what spirit communicates.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Yes, well put.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's continue on.
Oh, we're reading, yes.
Yeah. So we were at the Emperor, and then we had the dude on the horse with the wreath on his head.
Right, there's reason to celebrate and it's crazy to me, Bill, that they're telling me this, because you're a very open-minded person, and so, like, listen. Also, well, I'll get into numerology in a minute because that's Kristi's area, because look at this, 2 4s.
Oh.
So that's 3 4s we've got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
4 4 4.
Oh. 4 4 4.
Yeah. What is it again? 4?
Stability. Yeah.
Stability. So this is structure. You're a Virgo, right? You're a structured person.
Oh, yeah.
Structure makes the world go round. Rules make the world go round. Universal constants.
It's so funny because people say to me, gosh, you do everything. Is there anything you don't do? How do you do it all? And I say, I'm structured.
Yeah.
My days are blocked. My calendar is blocked. Time blocked.
Do you have a whiteboard in your home?
I don't. I'd like to. I used to.
You seem like a whiteboard person.
I would like to have one. I've been thinking about it, and I just don't know where I would put it. So here's the other thing about me is that I will think about that for a long time until it feels right. It's like I bought years ago, I bought a Nikon camera. It took me a year to buy it.
Because you were doing so much research?
Feelings, research, getting ready, and bam, and then turn around and doing it.
Yes, but I also feel like you're the kind of person where you think about it, but then when you do it, you execute it to perfection.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That comes through immediately. Where it's like, very much, I'm shocked that I haven't pulled the Hanged Man, because...
We'll pull another one. It's the Hangman!
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, that would be wild. It is the 2 of Wands, which is a similar energy. You map your course. So we'll see here wands being things we cannot see, touch, feel. Things that do not exist in our 3. Sort of energetically, what you're doing then when you're doing that, which is like your research, your planning, is here we see this man holding a globe and sort of looking out onto the hills, onto the land, surveying. It's very much like, remember in Lion King where he's like, look Simba, everything the light touches is yours. Like, this is you surveying your land, right? Like, looking over and being a planner. But I feel like, and here's what like the communication is, that sometimes people think you're idle when you're really growing your halo. Does that make sense? Do sometimes people think that you're like, because you have these periods where you're saying, I'm not going to do it unless it's perfect?
Right.
People think that in those periods before, because like we said, when you do it, you show up, you show out.
I will not do it unless I can do it to 100% of my abilities.
But in those preparation periods, jinx. In those preparation periods, do you currently do you experience like maybe judgment or questioning from other people in your life?
Oh, absolutely. People always do that to me.
And how do you handle it?
It's to me, it's not about if we can do it; it's how we're going to do it.
Yes, that is that 2 of Wands energy, charting the course. See?
Right.
Thinking, wheeling, dealing, gears always turning, active brain. Do you sleep well?
Not last night. I had about 3 hours.
Wow.
I was tossing. I haven't been sleeping for a long time.
Are you dreaming?
I don't know.
How long is a long time, can I ask you?
Well, my Garmin said I slept for 5.5 hours, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
Wait, you have a device that tells you when you sleep?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a Garmin.
I don't know what that is.
It's a watch.
Like a Apple?
You have to wear it when you sleep, right?
I wear it when I sleep.
How does it work?
It just keeps track of my heart rate. It can tell my my saturation levels for my oxygen. If I wanted to do that, I can do that, which I don't need to because
you don't have apnea. Yeah.
Well, I do have sleep.
Do you?
I've been told that. That's a different subject and a different
You
show.
stop breathing in your sleep.
I do.
That's because you're astral projecting. Actually, it's a topic for this show.
Oh.
Most people with sleep apnea are astral projecting or traveling to different realms in their sleeping state.
I have some great dreams.
Do you?
Yeah,
What's your most recent dream?
My most recent. Well, I was thinking about Lions Club all last night in my sleep, about some things I want to do, and I'm the membership chair. I'm now stepping in. I'll be third vice president, and my vision.
Congratulations.
I will be elected, but I know
it's already happening.
Yeah.
You're gonna be elected.
Yeah. So I was thinking a lot about that from this weekend and going through the entire conference in my dreams that I listened to. I could almost replay the entire conference.
That is so Virgo.
Now my son, I hang on, let me shut that. There we go.
We.
I don't. Alex will tell you that, this ability is kind of faded, but he's got it too. I can walk in and look at a room, and then I can shut my eyes and tell you everything in the room, which is weird.
That's called hypervigilance. Are you familiar with this term? It's not a spiritual term. It's a psychological term. Hypervigilance.
Huh.
It's an off-air conversation probably because it often involves situations in childhood that you're probably not willing to share with whoever's on the open air.
Okay.
But hypervigilance is often the cause of that. I'm also very into identifying things that are not spiritual as not spiritual, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So I believe in science, right? Which I think a lot of people get assume that a tarot reader is just all woo-woo and doesn't believe in traditional psychology.
Sure.
Whereas truly spirituality is very, follows the teachings of Carl Jung. In the spiritual community, we talk a lot about shadow work.
Wow.
Right? Which is a term that Carl Jung coined for accessing your subconscious and dealing with your inner child. So a lot of that hypervigilance has to do with sort of this Jungian, what do you call that? Subconscious inner child, yeah.
So we'll put that in the back of our...
Exactly. On theme.
I forgot where I was going with this whole thing after that.
You were saying that when you enter a space that you can close your eyes and then tell where everything is, and you were saying that Alex also has this, or Alex would tell me this.
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere with that.
I'm so sorry.
No. Let's continue on. I mean,
that was it. I just wanted to tell you that that is not a spiritual thing. That is a psychological thing. But I mean, it's not black and white again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Next card.
Next card. I actually feel...
What do you feel?
Great. I feel like I want to...
Do you feel anybody here?
Always, but I am reluctant to do a mediumship reading on the air because dead people, passed on loved ones do not cut corners, and they're not tactful, and sometimes, and I feel very strongly that that it would be a private conversation.
Put that in the back of your mind.
Right. Like very specifically for you, Bill, there's somebody who's happy that you weren't there when you passed, but you have guilt for not being there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's why I don't want to broadcast this unless you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Mom. I know that.
No, but it's someone, I don't even think it's a woman. I don't think it's a woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want you to see me like that. And so, I need you to let go of whatever guilt you feel for not being there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like it was maybe Grandpa. I don't know.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Dad's dad? Mom's dad?
Well, it would be Dad's stepdad, but...
Ow, I had one of those too.
I never knew that until I was older.
Oh.
How about that?
You didn't know that it wasn't biological.
Right.
Oh.
We did everything together. Every Friday night, I stayed at his house.
That's so funny because you know that song that just popped into my head. You guys know Randy Newman. We all know.
Sure.
We're the best of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did everything. We can't.
Something together. Whatever that is.
We spent hours and hours and hours, every minute together.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But you were not there when he passed because he didn't want you to see him that way. He wants you. That's why.
Himself.
That's why. I wonder. Yeah. He wants you to remember him as what you were. I think you're doing it. I think you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you asked, so I answered.
That's cool.
Hey, Bill, I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. That's what that was. And I didn't even look at this here.
Oh no.
What does the card say? What does the card say?
The card says Cosmic Ancestors. Oh my God. Voice your concerns.
Cosmic Ancestors. As you asked me, do I feel anyone here? How funny.
Wow.
I will open that.
I'm spooked.
Spooky.
Yeah, hair just stood up on my arms.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
got
the
shiver.
goozies, did you?
I did. Yeah.
I
That's
also have
what.
my chest, but I have 5 of those, so that's it's real easy to know when they do stand up.
Oftentimes when we look at, I don't even know how this.
The Hanged Man.
I don't know how this deck got cut, Kristi.
I did it. No,
this deck. But I told you we were going to get the Hanged Man.
So what's that mean?
The Hanged
So
Man.
you want to go to the book? Do you want to save that, or do you want to come back?
I want to go to the book and then I want to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, now you're spooking me.
A spooky lady. Yeah, it's real.
No, you're definitely not a spooky lady.
I take offense to that.
Hey, while she's doing that, you're listening to 103.5 WLSP, the sun, right here in beautiful Sun Prairie.
I have like such an urge because I'm on the radio to be like, sun, 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 prairie, prairie, prairie.
You did it.
Yeah, I sure did just now.
Sunday.
Monday madness. Mystic Mondays.
Yeah.
Let me see. Right now you must learn from those who have walked before you.
Always.
Those who have already shown a light on injustices require you to evolve and awaken into you already are a passionate contributor. But there's something where this card not only speaks to your ancestors are always with you, but like there might be something in your life right now where you are being called to, I wouldn't say pick a side because that sounds very binary, very like black or white again, but like take a stand in some way. And
Wow.
I don't know what that will be, if that's already happening or coming up.
Could be.
But it's, see, it says voice your concerns, right?
Yeah.
So it's take a stand in some way. I do want to get back to the Hanged Man because remember earlier when we were saying, I literally
That is wild.
thought it was going to be the Hanged Man, and I'm still confused how this deck got cut. But the Hanged Man in the parable of the tarot, you know, I remember I told you we have our suit cards and then our major arcana. In the major arcana, it tells the parable of the fool's journey. Okay, so like it's very much like the parable, the hero's journey, or the parable of the everyman by Chaucer, if you know that,
I
right? It is medieval and wonderful, and sort of like the basis of just sort of almost now passe cliche story arc, right? In the exact middle of the major arcana on the Fool's Journey, he comes across this man, the Hanged Man. Now you'll notice that the title is frightening because it sounds like somebody at the gallows. It sounds like someone at the gallows, right?
That's the first thing I thought.
Right, and so terrifying to the average person. That's why I'm here, to help you not be so scared. Because the Hanged Man is not a hanged man at all. In fact, he is hanging upside down in a tree, and when the fool, our hero, walks and stumbles upon him, he sees the village people sort of gathered underneath this tree, and that's why that's the vibration that I was getting from you. They're gathered underneath this tree saying, like, why don't you come down? Come down from that tree. You're just hanging out there, right? Like, what are you doing? And he says, I will come down when I have fully formed my halo in divine timing. It may seem as though I'm doing nothing or that I'm idle, but in fact, sometimes isolation, stepping back, being sort of intentionally lonely, right? The same way Jesus wandered the desert for 40 years, right? Or the Jews wandered the desert for 40 years. My Jew came out. Jesus 40 days, right?
No. Yes.
40 days, and then, right, so this isolation we see thematically. We see it in the Mesopotamian Epic of Gilgamesh, right? We see it in most religions. In Buddhism, we see these stories of all of their prophets taking isolation in order to grow their halo. And so it feels as though you have a lot of moments in your life where people question what you're doing or question you in your moments of stillness, right?
Wow, they do.
Yeah. But you, and something Spirit wants to applaud you on, is your confidence in the fact that you know exactly what you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Go back to the book, or the other
Oh,
part,
yeah.
Because I wanted to point out something.
Go on.
Can you go back and read that again? Because it said something in the very beginning.
I said, right now you must...
Walking with something, or walking in steps.
What's the time? Absolute truth. Currently existing within the universe... I don't know what I said. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what I said.
Okay. It was like, what I got out of it is this, and here's what you'll learn another little thing about me is that people have done things before me. Learn from them. It's okay to do that.
Those who have walked before you,
right.
yes.
But always give credit. And I have no problem having a coach or a mentor, a friend, or something like that. If you want to be better, if you want to learn how to do something, then surround yourself with people better than you, and your life is easy.
That is such good advice.
Or being able to call and say, hey, Kristi, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me out with that?
Humility.
Sure.
Humility.
Yeah.
Humility is strength.
Absolutely. I find that the least humble people are the dumbest people in the world. Do you know what I mean? The people who know the least insist they know the most. And I personally struggle with the exact opposite of that, which is I will tell you, if you ask me in real life, that I am not an expert on the tarot. I will tell you that I'm not an expert on astrology because I know so many people that I'm fortunate enough to have as mentors or be surrounded with who know everything there is to know in a very hyper-focused way. And so I love that. I think that that is the sign of somebody with true strength, is admitting when they need to. I think it's literally foolish to not take advantage of the resources the universe provides for you. You make a great point. Pride will take us down.
Well, here, get this one. And Kristi, you're going to love this one. Take responsibility for somebody else's mistake.
How do you mean?
Hey, Kristi, it's completely my fault. Absolutely my fault. And I apologize to you for doing that. For whatever. It doesn't matter what
it diffuses the situation.
Completely blows the other person.
off.
First of all, they sit there and they're like, what's he doing? Why do I feel so comfortable with this?
Because they were expecting confrontation, do you think?
Yeah. Well, there's another thing, confrontation. Why are we so, and this is why this whole anti-bullying thing is a problem, is because it's teaching us how not to be confrontational. Confrontation is good if done in the correct way. People don't want to be confrontational. I got a buddy that he does not like confrontation. Terry, absolutely not. She's being around me, she's learning that confrontation is not a bad thing. It's how you present it.
Do you think that, let me ask both of you this, why do you think that, I feel like it's most people, personally, I think it's most people have fear or anxiety surrounding directness. I'm going to say directness instead of confrontation, surrounding directness.
Yeah.
Because I feel very happy that I don't have that, but I feel like I'm in the minority. Kristi, you always say this to me. I'm very direct.
Yeah.
It's probably because I'm on the autism spectrum, so I'm just very point blank. And also I was raised in a German-speaking household, which is very point blank sort of language. So I assume that's why, but I wonder sometimes if there's what that is, or why it's so common.
How about the directness? You and I could walk into a room of 100 people, not knowing any of them, and walk in with comfort.
Yeah.
Kristi can't do that.
I can do that.
Absolutely. Kristi's better than me at that.
I can do
Kristi's
that.
better. Kristi's
Look at me, I'm like,
no, she's way better than I will say this. I think that you and I could sit down one-on-one with anyone and be skilled. I think that Kristi is extremely skilled in crowds where I am not, because I want to sit and I want to focus in and I want to pick your brain.
And I want to do that too.
You do too, but you're very comfortable with big groups, whereas I find myself pathologically, if there's a large group, even if it's not even me throwing the party, I will like start playing hostess, and maybe it's because I'm a Cancer, which is the sign of like motherhood and like mommy and home and nurturing, right? I will just start like serving everyone drinks or like cleaning up, or like I don't want to engage in like talking to many people, but I'll find a one person. Kristi, what I admire about you is you can just like talk to like air sign, right? Gemini. Yeah. You'll just flip around the room like boop, 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 and talk to everyone, and I don't thrive in that way, actually.
Have you seen a commercial where the guys, these two guys are in an elevator, and one of them is the teacher, and the other one is being taught, and the one that's being taught starts talking to everybody in the elevator, and the guy's like, "Stop! You don't talk to people in the elevator." Oh. Or the other one is the one guy is facing towards the back of the elevator, and everybody else is facing forward, and the teacher, the instructor, is going, "Have you noticed that everybody else is facing in a different direction?" Well, I'm that guy that's facing backwards.
Same. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have no problem. I have no
Absolutely.
And I'll know everybody by name by the time I get off that elevator.
Yeah.
Which drove my mother crazy.
So you're just social. I'll tell you something that's going to shock you, Bill.
Socially in an interesting way.
I'm an introvert.
Stop it.
Oh no, yeah, I love this conversation that we're having, and I love talking to people, but when I'm done talking to people, you know this about me, I need to recharge.
Yeah, me too.
This is amazing for me, and I am well-spoken, and I enjoy talking to people, but I do not, it is energy, whereas some people get, like, charged from it.
Oh,
I feel like you get a little bit charged.
I do, but I need a downtime.
Yeah.
I have to have a downtime.
Yeah.
I crash.
Do you?
Too.
Do you feel like that's burnout?
No.
Or just balance?
Balance.
Okay.
Yeah, just balance. I need head time is what I call it.
Well, that's healthy then. As long as you're not burning out, that's good.
Right.
You need just introspection. Yeah. As above, so below. As within, so without. Right? Yeah.
So go ahead. Continue on.
Let's continue on.
It's 8:30, so we have about 30 minutes to go.
Yeah, we got the Queen of Cups. That's Mommy. Oh, here you go. The ways in which...
Swords.
Yes, we have the 10 of Swords.
In a dead body.
It is not a... it's a dead body.
Maybe it's a dead body.
I'm assuming it's a dead body because...
It might be suffering.
If you have... it depicts a dead body.
Or you're stabbing people in the back.
No, actually, allow me.
Yes, please.
I feel like also, your numerology is off the charts. I actually remember this from when I read you. Now that we're in it, there was a lot of numbers. Okay, when we see the 10 of Swords, swords represent our thoughts. So in the same way that I actually use two different metaphors depending on what generation I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to somebody who's 20, I will say we need to program our own algorithm. But if I'm talking to somebody who's 60, I might say we're our own electrician, right? But it's the same concept,
okay.
right?
All right?
Swords are thoughts, mental programming. So if we do not program our own algorithm, so to speak, right? If I'm on TikTok but I don't tell it what I like or don't like, it'll just send me random stuff. But if I start liking videos of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's going to start showing me mixed martial arts. And if I start showing it that I love kittens, it's going to start showing me some really flippin' cute kittens, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. And so when we see these swords stabbed into someone's back, swords are the programming, the things you've either liked or disliked or engaged with. And let's be very clear, algorithmically speaking, engagement is all that matters. Whatever you engage with in the universe is what it's going to show you more of. So if I don't like a Facebook post, or let's say TikTok, right? If I don't like a TikTok post, but I like pause it and I go into the comments and I start looking at it, meaning metaphorically, if there's a situation or a problem or a potential problem or an issue or something that's happened to me that I engage with constantly, whether it's like, I don't want this, I don't want this, or I do want this, or I do want this. They don't hear the do or don't, they just hear you're focusing on that. Let me tell you, when I was watching 6 Feet Under for the first time, I saw 7 hearses in a day, and I've never seen one since. Right? Like, just driving by my apartment on Main Street, Sun Prairie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, driving by the Budding Butterfly at 101 East Main Street, Sun Prairie. And this means to say that there very well is things that have happened to you. If we're not our own electricians, the music we listen to, the people who raised us, the shows we watch, the people we surround ourselves with will wire our brain for us. So when we see this 10 of Swords, it means that you have self-sabotaging thoughts that do not belong to you, truths you hold about yourself that are not even true.
It's true.
That someone else put there for you.
Oh.
And it's time to release them now at the end of this astrological new year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
About me.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Absolutely.
Yes, I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Also, I love that you're coming up as the Page of Wands. You have a lot of Wands energy.
What is it?
Page of Wands. So this would be, if this was a deck of playing cards, this would be like the Jack, right?
Okay.
So not a king, not a queen. On like a deck of playing cards, we have 4 royal suits. So if you imagine there's a king and a queen, there's a knight, and we all know what that is, and there's a page. The page tends to the knight, meaning we're in this like area of expertise, but at the lowest level.
Okay.
At the lowest level, but still an expert.
Okay.
And when you're showing up as the Page of Wands, wands again are things we cannot see, touch, feel. That's spirituality, that's energy, that's the things between the atoms, right? Those are that which we cannot identify, the vibes. Those are the vibes. It's telling me with presenting you as this Page of Wands, and then also remember we got the 2 of Wands, meaning that you're on a new journey, charting sort of a new vibey course, which obviously I'm here on your show, and you had 2 readings in like a month for the first time ever. So you're sort of in this curiosity towards energy and what it means.
My watch just said, let's get moving.
Ooh, see? Stagnant energy. And if there's one thing I can impart on anybody listening, it's that right now in this Pisces season, again, as above, so below, right? It's time to like get stuff moving. If there's any cobwebs in your metaphorical closet, in your metaphorical like home, spiritual home, it's time to like pull open those shutters, dust off the cobwebs. If there's any box that maybe, which we all do at certain times, we have put on a shelf and like neatly tucked away in a corner, and it's dusty and we're happy with it there. It's festering though. It's time to like open it and put it in the trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's spooky.
Ooh.
I have boxes that haven't been opened since I moved.
Shut the front door. That was supposed to be a metaphor, but I love that it was literal.
Thank you.
You know. I also I set this aside because I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, here.
Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Kristi made me these earrings.
Aw.
Available at Budding Butterfly.
You never make me earrings.
Would you like some? Are your ears pierced?
I had one that was at one time. I had a lightning bolt for a long time.
Like a stud or a dangle?
Stud.
Very George.
I could have used a...
I pictured a George Michael, like,
No.
situation, which I can see.
Not 85.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's my era.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby.
79.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
What else do you feel?
This is, I think, also Terry, who I've met. Intuitive Queen. Emotions. Is she, when's her birthday?
November 3rd.
What is that?
She's
Libra?
The day-
Scorpio. Scorpio, so water sign, so cups are water, so that would make sense. Oh, she plays with dark and light, doesn't she?
Yes.
So, in fact, that's one thing just to sort of like put a bow on the concept of tarot at all, or when we were talking about people having fear that just entering a spiritual space or doing anything spiritual could welcome in demons or welcome in, like, you could, a lot of that is just Hollywood. Okay, if you're gonna burn sage, if you're indigenous or whatever you're gonna burn to do like a smoke cleansing or whatever you're doing, you're not gonna welcome in demons.
Actually, when Bill was talking about negative energy in his home this morning, I was like, maybe
smoke cleanse.
Yes, smoke cleanse.
Yes, red cedar.
We have everything.
You have all the supplies.
Sure.
Yeah.
You do know that after Terry had her reading with you, she retired.
Shut the front door. Ah, I didn't know that.
And then she apologized to me.
No. I am so thankful for you saying that, because I feel like I keep like birthing these babies and then they go out into the world and then I never know what happens with them. This is a very Cancer thing of me to say, mommy, right? But I feel like sometimes, and oftentimes I'm very blessed that people come back to me and update me, but very often I will have someone come in like that and I will like say, Spirit saying this, Spirit saying that, but I never know like how much they're going to apply it to their lives. So I want to thank you for telling me there was a positive outcome, because I truly don't know often how people like handle.
She came back. Advice. She came home and she it wasn't right away, but she says, I need to apologize to you. And I said, okay, what's going on? You know, what's up? Mm-hmm. And she goes, it took a psychic for me to decide to retire instead of listening to you. And I'm like, no, that's okay. You don't need to apologize to me. I mean, I'm just a step in the process.
Sometimes you need an outside.
Yeah. And I said, so Renae convinced you to retire? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. She goes, I'm like a day past the deadline, but I'm going to go back and I'll take care of it. And I was honestly going to.
I love that. I didn't know that. That makes me very happy. Thank you. I feel like I'm blushing. I will call her. Yeah. I am blushing. That makes me so happy.
But it was that she felt she had to apologize to me. I'm like, no, I'm one of those people in your process of what you're trying to decide. Hopefully I'm elevated above a few, but...
Right, and sometimes that's the power of going to see a reader, right? We all know this. I can't tell you how often people come in and sit across from me at the table and they say, I actually already knew that. I actually sort of, in my heart...
But they hadn't accepted it.
They just needed the validation. Like, sometimes I know I look cute, but I literally have to ask my husband if I look cute. Like, I don't know. Like, you just need that outside validation, right? And so
Yes, your butt looks good in those jeans.
Right, exactly. Your hair looks good. You know, whatever it is. Like, you look skinny today. Whatever it is, you just need that outside validation. And I think that's often... More times than not, if that's what you need, is just validation to trust your own power and your own instincts, that's often what tarot provides.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it's spooky, or...
Well, I say spooky, it's unusual.
And we don't mean you, we mean like people kind of fear around
Fear, or, oh my gosh, I'm going to get the death card. And it's like, the death card
is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think that most of the people that come in for a reading walk out feeling very validated, feeling more confident, feeling just better overall, that they can go out and address whatever it is that they maybe came in for looking to have more clarity over, right?
And you have that unique perspective, because I feel like you see people when I don't, like as they leave the back. And so do you get to experience people like
absolutely
in that euphoria?
Like, you know, Linda, you saw her at the store recently, and Linda was speaking with other people who were like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not sure about a reading. I don't know if I want to know what's going to happen. And it's like, it really is just validating. And it just makes you feel more confident, and like you said, empowering and trusting your own intuition.
Right.
Because that's the point of all of this. And by all of this, I mean life, right?
Yeah.
Is trusting yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we've all been right out of the womb, we've had this wall put up around us.
Absolutely.
Of the wall of doubt, the wall of
gaslighting.
Right? Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, that's it. That's it.
But it's true. I mean, we have this wall where if something new, something we don't know, is thrown at us, we're like, oh, no, not for me. No, can't do that. Why? I mean, I'm very proud to say that I have parents that, were ones that were, well, check it out. Just try it.
That's wonderful.
You like, go ahead and try that. You want to try that? Yeah, go ahead.
Literally nurturing your interests.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always curious, I think.
I love that.
About things. But I know my limits. I've set my limits, is the better way to say that. But the people can be so close-minded at times, and it's sad. It's so sad.
It bums me out too.
Yeah.
It just bums me out, man. Yeah.
I'm just like, get me away from this crap.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. That's sometimes what I try to remember, right, is that that's not their life journey for this life cycle, right? Mm-hmm. That's not whatever karmic debt they're trying to settle. That's not their path, is to know everything. People like us, we're very curious. We want to know about a bunch of stuff. We want to know everything, especially you. You want to know everything about a thing that you like, right? Mm-hmm. But there are a ton of people who are very comfortable because they just know themselves with not knowing a ton about something, which I can't relate to, right? But that's how they are, and I just tell myself that's not their journey for this life cycle. Whatever they're supposed to be learning isn't about that.
So I sit on a lot of committees.
Yeah, you do. You're on every committee.
Well, I believe in sharing time, talent, treasure. Period.
The 3 T's?
The 3 T's.
Is this a thing you say?
Yes.
Time, talent, treasure. I'm going to remember that.
That comes from my grandparents. Sometimes you have the
from your cosmic ancestors.
Sometimes you have the treasure. Time. Sometimes you have the time. Sometimes you have the treasure.
I'm writing this down.
Talent.
Time, treasure.
So I might be able to do some. So people always hit me up for fundraising. They want me to help with fundraising. But what's really interesting is when I sit on a committee, they'll say, well, we're looking to raise $5,000. I'm like, what? Why? Don't waste your time on $5,000. Let's make it $50,000. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, how are we gonna do that? Oh my God, the walls come tumbling down.
It's the don't worry about how, though, right?
No, it's not. And now it's like, where are we gonna find $50,000? Let's create the plan to find $50,000. And let's go do it. And is it by knocking on doors? Is it by making phone calls? Who do you know? Who do you know? Baker Healthcare. I bought my largest competitor. And
You did?
Yeah, I did. I started my business in my garage, wound care, and then we bought my biggest competitor. And I had to go out and find $1.5 million. And did it in 60 days.
Wow.
No.
Yep. I found an investor. And then
I love that.
And then of that, I got another $500,000 credit line based upon the investor and went and built Baker Healthcare. 27 employees, $5 million in sales. I mean, we were the Mac Daddy. So when somebody says to me, "Oh, we can't do that," I'm like, "Oh, those are words."
Can't is a 4-letter word.
Oh, Mrs. Kilby. I love Mrs. Kilby. Kindergarten teacher at Eastside Elementary.
Shout out Eastside.
Was Alex's kindergarten teacher, had a big beach ball, and written all over that beach ball was the word can't. Can't. And she had each of the kids take turns kicking can't out the room.
I literally want to say that I love that advice, and then also I would advise everyone to do that, whether it's like, you don't need a beach ball. Write it on a piece of paper. Here's a little witchy tip. Yeah. Write it on a piece of paper, the word can't. Yeah. Fold it away from you 3 times and set it on fire. Throw it in a candle, throw it in whatever. Yeah. Because that's such a great... Flush it down the potty. Yes. It's such a great exercise. I love that. Mrs. who?
Kilby.
Mrs.
She's long
Kilby.
retired. Mrs. Kilby was Mrs.
God love her.
Doubtfire.
Oh, hello!
Oh, handwritten notes for 25 kids every single day.
That's
wow.
Oh my gosh.
That doesn't happen ever.
No. Back then we could bring dogs into the classroom.
Dogs in the...
Dogs.
Dogs?
We're bringing some dogs. Oh, bring in some puppies.
You got some dogs in the class?
But there are no voids. No voids.
Yeah. Wow, I love
Tarot's
that.
kind of cool.
Tarot's very cool. Thank you for enjoying it.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, so there are questions about the medium side and the way of contacting our ancestry and all that.
I wish I could explain it.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So, well, you kind of already told me about my guiding spirit and all that. There's somebody's reaching out there. It's got to be my grandfather.
Sure, so that wouldn't be something I would use the word guide for. That would be passed on loved one, right?
Passed on loved one? Okay.
Which our passed on loved ones can sometimes be our guides.
So, what does my passed on loved one? How do you know what they want to share with me?
Thank you for asking. It's actually very complicated, and I have had to work very hard at it.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I know that this is like a thing that some other mediums do, but I don't know that it's all. So I'm just going to speak for myself, right?
Uh-huh.
But I have a series of symbolisms. So, for example, if all of a sudden I start thinking in German, which is my mother's from Germany and I was raised speaking German.
Okay.
If I start thinking in German, that is a sign to me that their ancestor is from another country, the person that I'm talking with, right? So it doesn't mean they're from Germany, it just means that they've switched my thoughts to a foreign language, which is my sign that I agreed upon, like with my, so everyone has guides. My guides, I told them, when you're filtering what I'm receiving, because I'm like an antenna, right?
Sure.
When you're letting things hit my antenna, here's what, and I had to figure it out. I am trying to take so much credit right now, when really it's the system that I feel was devised for me, and I just figured it out. And I'm trying to be like, I told them to say, and I feel like I just got called out. Like, as I was talking, like I didn't tell them to say anything. I devised this sort of, and it's the same way with the tarot. You devise a shorthand with your deck. I have this identical deck, a second copy, should anything happen to my beloved deck, and it has a completely different personality than my other. Wow. Like, this deck will call you out. That's why I love this particular deck. It has its own personality. It will call you on blockages, and that's what I personally like to do. But how does it work? It works with symbolism, and it's a completely different language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So here's one for you, and I'm going to follow this up because I've got a great one. How will I know when my past loved one is around and visiting me?
Don't doubt yourself. When you feel them, it's true.
So
That's
I can't remember if I shared this with you, but about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
There's two parts to it. The first thing was when Mom was dying, we had a conversation, and she went from Monday communicating to Friday she was not communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Told me to go home because I was running for city council. Go home, and
Still bigger for city council.
She said, "Go home and win the election."
That's when I knew you.
And I did not win at that time.
I know.
I did not win. But so in that discussion, I said, let me know you're around, and send me pennies from heaven. And we find pennies all the time.
Bill, what you just said is so important, and I say this a lot in my readings. That is such you have such high, I remember this came out in your reading, you have such good intuition, and you trust yourself so well, because that is advice that I give to people and try to hit them over the head with, right? If you just believe, if you truly believe, and then ask your spirits for something, they will show you. Mine is yellow cars, as Kristi knows, and it's wild the amount of times when you're with me and I'll say something or we'll be discussing something that might be controversial or like is a strong opinion, and a yellow car will drive by, and Kristi knows, yellow car, it's right.
Wow.
Affirmation.
So here's the one that'll get you.
Yeah.
So I'm not a smoker. Never been a smoker. Smoke a lot of pot, but I'm not a smoker.
Marijuana?
Marijuana.
How dare you?
Mary Jane.
The devil's lettuce.
There are times, all the time, all of a sudden, I can smell it. And that's Mom.
Smells are...
That's my mom.
Smells and birds.
And I'll tell Terry, I'll go, Mom's here.
Mm-hmm.
I said, can't you smell it? She goes, no, I can't smell it.
Most people smell cigarettes.
So the entire time we've been in here, by the way, you may see me going, and I'm searching for it right now because I kept thinking Mom would be here today. And she's not. I mean, I honestly, I know
she's not.
She's not.
Yeah. No.
But I get this all the time. I could be watching TV and I'm like, oh, hey, Mom.
Do you want me to call her?
You want to try?
Should we try together?
Well, okay.
I don't know.
We've got about 8 minutes.
Well, let's just see. Then it's done. Let's just see if you sense anything.
Hey, Mom, come in here. Come
Ma! Meatloaf, Ma!
Oh, I love you.
Me too.
Oh, man.
I actually made a vegetarian meatloaf for my family recently. It was delicious. Impossible meat. Yes,
wow.
impossible.
Oh, gosh. So I normally it's that smoke smell, and it's not all the time. But all of a sudden I'll get this.
Isn't that something with my dad is lilacs?
Is it really?
I'll get lilacs, yeah. And I never smelled lilacs before.
Wow.
I actually never got smells before, and I wasn't that close with my father. He was sort of a bad person. But
Sure.
my dad, right?
Right.
And after he passed, I gained like 7 sense or whatever. Like one of my, they say there's clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairkineticism, whatever. And I got like the smell thing. I started to smell things when spirit was around, and you seem like you've had that always, or at least since your mom passed. I never had it until, and it's not just him now, like I'll get sense, I'll know when someone's passed on loved one was a smoker, and I never had that until my dad passed like a year ago. Yeah.
So let me tell you why I don't think she'll show up here.
Why?
Because she never wanted to be on the radio.
She feels like she doesn't want attention.
She never wanted to be on the radio. I would call her all the time, Mom, let's talk on the radio. It'd be a funny thing to do. Well, what am I going to talk about? I don't need to do that.
She calls you Billy.
Oh, yeah.
Billy boy.
And then when she was serious, Billy Joe.
Is your middle name Joseph?
Uh-huh.
William Joseph?
Yeah, I got a story about my mom. I love it.
Go, tell it.
So we're Kentucky. We're from Kentucky.
I thought you had a drawl.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Not as much as you though, Kristi. You have the best drawl.
So
anyway.
we moved to Michigan, and she's registering me for school, and she decides that Billy Joe would not be a name that would be really received well in the 6th grade, in elementary school. So she changed it.
So that your original name, Billy Joe.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then she changed it
to BJ.
Oh, that's what I call my husband, Blake Jeffrey.
She changed it to BJ. So I tell people, with that kind of name, you either learn how to fight or take a punch. I took a lot of punches.
Did you? I learned how to fight. Regrettably.
But I have people on right now that are from Michigan that are watching right now. Valerie's on here.
Shout out Michigan.
Kim was on. That I went to high school with, and they all call me BJ.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that about you.
Oh my gosh! And then I don't know how much more you can shorten my name. My sister calls
Beach.
me B.
Oh, that's even shorter than Beach.
Yeah. So then one year I'm bowling, and it said Bill Bah. So it was just Bah. Bah. I'm like, wow. Now I'm a sound. Bah.
Just an audible.
Yeah. So my sister calls me B.
I like that.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. My mom. I love Mom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was trying.
I know. Man, I miss her. I want her bean soup. I crave it all the time.
Was it navy beans? What'd you do?
It was navy beans.
Yeah, I thought that.
Got a ham.
Moosh it, almost like a split pea, but with navy beans.
Yeah, not all of them, but mashed most of them.
That's a British thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
I feel like it's like either like Welsh or British. Yeah.
What, Dominic? What are you saying? I will call you NVM. What's NVM?
Never mind.
I would call. Never mind.
He's saying, he says, laugh my ass off.
Flippin'.
Yeah. Dominic, you're a good guy. Yeah, so my grandmother made bean soup, then my mother made it. And
Yeah.
they were to die for.
Delicious.
Oh,
a lot of people
my
hate
gosh.
that though. It's kind of got an aroma that isn't appealing to some people.
Got a good
I
ham
enjoy
in
it.
there.
You put the bone with the gristle and stuff in there, and it kind of like yes.
But you know the best thing I make?
Huh.
Reservations. And I'm really good at it.
You don't like to cook?
I can't stand to cook.
Really?
It's my second favorite pastime. My first favorite pastime is talking to dead people. But my second favorite is cooking, yeah.
But I watch all the cooking shows, and I can
So
tell
you know good food.
I know how to make
So you have a favorite restaurant in Sun Prairie or the
Fucking
Madison
Honey's.
area? Fucking Honey's, me too. I like the ahi salad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
So
fantabulous.
good. It really is.
And I always ask for extra wasabi.
Spanky's
Me too.
meatloaf.
Spanky.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so much, you gotta take some home. I do anyway.
It's so good.
Yeah. I'm a slow eater. I always take something home. Yeah. And then I eat it the second I get home, though.
Oh,
Yeah, because I'll eat like half my meal and everyone else is done, and then I'll box it up and then eat it when I get home.
But we were driving to Kentucky, and we're gonna stay. We went halfway and decided to stay overnight and all this, and so we did that. And then I like to go to local restaurants
Yes.
because I think they're fun to visit.
And it's economically responsible to support small businesses.
Yes. Yes.
Flooding Butterfly 101 East Main
101
Street.
East Main Street
Is
for
that
all your
Is that
metaphysical needs.
101 East Main Street?
It's 101 East
Yes.
Main Street, adjacent to the unfortunate explosion site.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Corey Barr. No, dead people
No.
are not negative. Dead people are all around
Corey's not
us.
negative, but the blast is done.
The blast is
From that
done.
beautiful thing
Listen,
that
how exactly? Much like the death card, ushering in new growth.
That microphone's going to be ticked at you. You've hit it so
I
many
just
times.
smacked
It's
it
going to
with
reach
my
over and just bam!
I'm a hand talker. Yeah, it's my bad.
So let me tell you about my restaurant.
Yes.
So we go to this restaurant. Now I'm the one in the restaurant where when I get a server, and you know this, I learn everything as much as I can about the server that's serving it.
You're an ideal guest at a restaurant.
Oh, thanks.
For those who don't know, I used to be a waitress, and Bill was my favorite regular on Wednesday. Was it Wednesdays?
Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesday mornings or lunch.
COVID.
During COVID, mask, and I had a Bill Baker for City Council mask that you gave me,
You did?
and I on purpose wore it every Wednesday because I knew you'd be in, and I was trying to support. So thank you.
So so we go to a restaurant, and they've got meatloaf, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be homemade meatloaf. So I asked the young lady, I said, now is this homemade meatloaf, or are you getting this from Cisco? Oh no, everything here is homemade. Well, the meatloaf came out and it was in slabs. I mean, I was like, this is not homemade meatloaf. It's not rough on the top the way you would think. It didn't have a tomato paste glaze on the top.
There was no glaze.
Nothing.
Shut the front door.
I know. And so we're talking about this, and I said, this doesn't look like the meatloaf that I make. And she says, and you got to ask Terry about this. She just rolls with this. The young lady says, well, how do you make your meatloaf? And I went through the whole process talking about ingredients and putting this together. And the young lady leaves and walks, and Terry goes, when was the last time you made meatloaf? I said, well, I haven't made it in probably 10, 15 years maybe. Well, you act like you made it yesterday. She goes, why don't you make that at home? I said, well, you don't like meatloaf. And she goes, I know, but you can cook if you want to. Oh, no, I don't want to cook. I'll take you out to dinner.
Well, that's just it. Don't do what you don't want to do.
And she accepts that. I mean,
Yeah.
and we knew this before we got into the relationship and everything. But yeah, I'm not one that likes to cook. Because you'll get tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich.
Delicious, though.
I could live off that.
Delicious. That's how my hubby is, too. He'll just kind
Oh
of
my
cook the
gosh.
basics, yeah.
I could eat tuna fish every day for lunch.
Really?
I have no problem eating the same thing over and over again.
Hyperfixation on food is a real human condition. We get that way. I'll do like week by week. I'll be like, today's a grilled cheese week or something. Yeah.
We're going to eat after this.
You are?
Oh, that's right. We
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
I have to go to the doctor. Oh, and we gotta get off the air.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
That's right. It's almost 9 o'clock. We gotta get out of here.
Mhm.
Hey, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show today. This has been a lot of fun, and I think we got to do this maybe once a month.
I would
Yes.
love to. I would absolutely love to.
Actually, I could see the two of you with your own show.
I have been manifesting that.
Honestly,
For
goodness.
real?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I mean, you can do it. You could set it up in the TV studio, broadcast it to radio and Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
That would be lovely.
So that's Jeff Robbins. You have to talk to Jeff Robbins.
We'll talk
The
about
man in
that.
charge.
Yeah, we'll get that info from you then.
All right.
Yeah.
But Renae,
You.
thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
on
Thank
Friday.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Friday morning.
Friday
Yeah.
morning.
You guys got a Chamber of
Coffee
Commerce,
chat.
yeah.
Oh, we have a date
Uh-huh.
every Friday morning.
On Friday dates.
We're sipping coffee together.
Yes, we are.
And talking crap.
Sip and spill, yeah.
You know? So, folks, thanks a lot. Hey, catch me on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We have Melissa Ratcliffe coming in. We're going to be talking about affordable housing and how we need a plan for this instead of just throwing a bunch of freaking money at it and then wishing it's going to change. She's prepared. I've already talked to her about it. She knows I'm kind of coming at her a little bit, but that's okay. She's a friend. I supported her campaign, and I voted for her in the election. So it's going to be a good conversation. Join us. I think you're gonna like it. I really do. So until then, I will see you back here on the radio on Wednesday. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That was so great. Thank you. Girl, you did amazing.
Nice job, both of you. Yeah, I didn't even get to my stuff. I got like.
Oh, I didn't know you had stuff.
No, I didn't need them.
But I totally thought somebody was going to want us to.
We're on Facebook still, just to warn you.
Oh, great, good.
Yeah, we'll be up in just a second. Because this is where usually conversations happen where you're like, I shouldn't have said that.
I know.